and welcome to Fraud Busting Neofraus podcast. It is the only podcast for female fraud professionals and their allies who want to stay on top of the fraud awareness spectrum in order to thrive professionally while maximizing their happiness and having the courage to create the life they love. Thank you for listening.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of the Neofraus podcast. I'm Olga. I'll be your host today. For today's episode, we have a special guest. This is Waterfall Adams. Without further ado, I'd like to give her the floor to introduce herself. Hi, Waterfall.
Hi, Olga. Thanks for having me on your show.
Thank you so much, Waterfall. Could you please briefly introduce yourself to the listeners and let them know about a little bit more about who you are and what you do?
Well, my pen and stage name is Waterfall Adams. I was born in Paducah, Kentucky, raised in Boba, Alabama. 1 second. Okay. After high school, I have got an associate's degree from Bishop State Community College in general education. And then I transferred to University of South Alabama, where I got my degree in art history for minor dramatic arts. I have 2 blogs, and I self-published these 2 poetry books that, as you see, these are the paperback versions. There's also e-back versions. I'm also trying to get the audiobook versions together and working on more books. And these books, as you see, they can be found on Amazon and other agitators. If they're not on there, I will try to get them on there.
Thank you so much for this introduction. I'm sure the listeners will be enjoying learning more about you and your books. I am so sorry that this episode is going to be just audio, so listeners won't be able to see the books as you show them to me, but I will make sure to add the links for the websites that you just mentioned, the eBay, the Amazon, so that the listeners could click on the links and be able to purchase your books.
Okay, the names of these books are The Eclectic Mind of V, which is my self-published debut book, and the second self-published book is called Free to Be V. And V in these books are spelled V-E-E.
That's very nice of you of citing the exact names of the books so that the listeners could have the exact idea as they listen to the episode. But again, I'll make sure to add all the links for their convenience in order for them to get their books. But then that brings me to my next question. I'm very curious to ask you a little bit about your story, or maybe a little bit about the books that you write and what are they all about. Basically anything that you would like to share with the listeners today.
Well, my first book, The Eclectic Mind of V, it's free-range poetry that discusses the arts, blackness, 21st century issues, and you also might find some personification points. The second book, Free to Be V, it is about freedom, race, religion, womanhood, and I even have a tribute point to one of my poetic inspirations. And some inspirational quotes, some written by yours truly, and some written by other people. All credit goes to those other people.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing this wonderful. And let me ask you one additional question. Do you think you have an interesting story or anything interesting to share with the audience?
Anything interesting?
Yeah, anything you wish to talk about.
Oh, yes, I have been receiving help with the marketing and promotion of my books. Um, it's for the company is called Precious Digital Marketing Agency. They're a company from Nigeria, which is ran by Gillette Precious Gildian. It's been really helpful. We're getting a crowdfunding site for me to get together. They created a logo. It says Waterfall Adams. You might find some on my social media. You will also find like on oh yeah, my book trailers and book promos that was created by this company.
Mm-hmm.
And
All
with
right.
my freelancing, it's just that ever since I've been like freelancing, it probably around late 2014, I've met different interesting people like all over the world, especially since business these days is like a lot more globalized now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I would like to ask you this. I know you mentioned what your books are about, but do you think you could give us a little bit of more details to just, learn slightly more about what your books are talking about?
Well, with these books here, it does talk about different things. And to give you and the audience a taste, this is host choice. Pick a book would you like me to read a poem from?
Okay, free to be we.
All right. This particular poem I am going to read, I am trying to adapt it into stage and or screen. It's about the history of African American dance. Like go starts from Africa to the like post colonial Africa to the 21st century, where we're living right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's called We Have the Dance.
Uh-huh.
As a people, we have to dance. Way back in the motherland, we always had to dance. Through times of joy, sadness, to heal, and rites of passage, we have to dance. Through times of enslavement, we have to dance. Even when they try to take it away, we dance through the shade. From the juke joints to the migration, we have to dance. Even though, even when it's time to pay the rent, we had to dance. Through depression and worldwide war, we have to dance. In the dance studios and sock hops, we have to dance live and in color. And we can get smooth and we can get rough, live and in color and integrated. Through the Soul Train days and the disco nights, we have the dance. With BET, MTV, and VH1, we have the dance. Through social media, we have the dance. At Broadway, church, the club, community centers, competition, Hollywood, television, social gatherings, universities all over the world, we have the dance. We even put on a spin on it. Because of this, I shake what my ancestors gave me and get my Jackson on. So to the future and beyond, we have the dance. Thank you.
That's so amazing. Thank you so much for reading this piece from your book. That's so powerful. I am without words, and I'm sure the listeners will like learning about the book too, and even wanting to purchase it for themselves. But these parts of the book are so powerful. Thank you so much for writing that and for sharing. It's amazing how you're making an analogy, with the dance and empowering and celebrating the spirit, right? Remaining strong, no matter what, and through all the difficulties in time and in life. That's amazing. That's very powerful. Thank you. Wow. It makes you even want to learn more and to read more from your books.
Oh, thank you.
Do you think we could read a little bit something from the other one as well?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Where will I start? Let's see. Uh, I'm gonna today see how much time we have. Not try to take too long. It's this one in particular. It is called Real Job. Yeah, what inspired me to write this particular poem is like the job market and like looking for a job, a job
I
search.
think this topic is very, very much important for the listeners because we live in times when people get mass layoffs from a lot of companies and dealing with job search and a difficult job markets. So I'm sure the listeners will love to hear on the topic. Absolutely.
Okay. It's called Real Job. Get a real job, they say. A respectable job, they say. A stable job, they say. That's the biggest joke I ever heard. Really? What is a real job exactly? They say it's something you should get after you finish high school. They say it's something that's easy to get. They say it's way more respectable, like a teacher, an accountant, or a postal worker. Sometimes you don't get respect from a respectable job. Parents always give advice, but not how to get the job. In the 21st century, the digital age, it's not the same old job application interview process, especially not in the so-called good old days. Back in my day, it seems like they want you to have the job rather than you wanting their job for yourself. No matter the interview, the same question is always asked. Why do you want to work here? Can't really think of a good answer or lie other than, it's because I'm broke, damn it. You feel utterly foolish or worthless when you can't even get a job at a fast food joint or a regular 9 to 5. So the definition of a real job is something that is not what it seems to be anymore. Thank you.
Oh, wow, that's another great one, and again very, very powerful. Wow, thank you, Waterfall, for that. I'm sure the audience will enjoy listening to this part of your book, same as I did.
Thank you.
Amazing. I'm just in speechless right now. It's awesome. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. You're definitely very, very talented and a talented writer. It's my pleasure to have you today as a guest on our
Yeah.
podcast. Thank you, Waterfall. So I'm curious to ask you this question, especially because in the first book you read about, this I guess some of the difficulties throughout the history and life in general. So that brings me to this question in my mind. What kind of advice do you think you could give to people out there, but perhaps women also specifically, and generally anyone, on how to remain resilient and keep going in difficult situations in their lives?
Never give up. That's one of the many things, and maybe like a quote from one of my from Free to Be Thee. We find something. Do what works for you. That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's what I got.
Wow. Well, that's sweet, short, but very, very important. Thank you so much again. for sharing that. It was my absolute pleasure to have you. I'll make sure to add the links to your books so that the audience could be finding your books to purchase and read even more and having even more from them. But I enjoyed so much, listening to the parts from your books and having the opportunity to talk to you today and have you as our guest for the episode. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
Thank you. And thanks everyone for listening. Stay healthy and happy.